I never missed a single visit to my grandfather at the nursing home. The day he died, a nurse handed me the envelope he told her to save for, the only grandchild who never asked for money. When my grandfather moved into a nursing home, everyone in the family suddenly became very busy. My uncle lived 20 minutes away but only visited on Christmas. My cousins always had work. Even my mother, who loved him dearly, struggled to visit because she was caring for my grandmother, who had advanced dementia. I worked remotely, so every Wednesday evening I'd stop by the nursing home after work. We'd play chess. Sometimes he'd win. Sometimes he'd accuse me of cheating even when I wasn't. Those Wednesdays became my favorite part of the week. He rarely talked about money, he talked about mistakes. The biggest regret in life, he'd say, is thinking you'll have more time. One afternoon I arrived with his favorite lemon cake. His room was full. My uncle, my cousins, even relatives I hadn't seen in years. They were unusually cheerful. I quickly realized why. Someone had started a rumor that Grandpa owned a large piece of farmland that had become worth millions. Everyone suddenly remembered he existed. For the next few months the visits continued. Not because they missed him, because they kept asking the same question. "So, have you updated your will?" Grandpa always smiled. "I've updated my opinion of people." Nobody laughed. A week later he quietly asked me something strange. "When I die, don't fight anyone," I promised. He smiled. "I knew you'd say that." 3 weeks later he passed away peacefully in his sleep. The funeral was beautiful. The family gathering afterward wasn't. People argued before the tea had even been served. Someone claimed Grandpa had promised them the land. Another insisted the jewelry belonged to them. Within hours, everyone who had called themselves close family was fighting. I stayed quiet. As I was leaving, one of the nurses stopped me. "Your grandfather asked me to give you this." She handed me a sealed envelope. Written on the front were the words, "For the only grandchild who listened instead of waiting to speak." Inside was a handwritten letter. It read, "If you're reading this, then I was right about you. By now everyone is probably arguing about things. They'll be disappointed. I sold the farmland 6 years ago." I blinked. "Every penny paid for your grandmother's care, the nursing home, and the scholarships I anonymously funded for children who couldn't afford college. There was no fortune, no hidden millions, just a quiet life spent helping people." Then I found one final page. "There is one inheritance, not money. My journals." The nurse led me to a storage room. Inside were 12 old notebooks. Every page documented Grandpa's life. His childhood during difficult times. His first job. How terrified he was when he became a father. The mistakes he never admitted out loud. Letters he'd written to family members but never sent. One entry made me stop. It was about me. "Today my grandson visited again. He never checks his phone while we're talking. I hope one day he realizes that attention is the rarest gift anyone can give another human being." I cried harder reading those journals than I had at the funeral. Months later, I finished organizing them. Instead of keeping them in a box, I self-published them for our family, not to make money, to make sure nobody forgot who he really was. At the next family reunion, something surprising happened. My uncle apologized. He admitted he'd been so focused on what Grandpa might leave behind that he'd forgotten to simply spend time with him. One by one, others admitted the same. Grandpa didn't leave us a fortune, he left us a mirror. Some people saw regret, others saw gratitude. I saw a reminder. The people we love aren't waiting for expensive gifts, most of the time. They're just waiting for us to sit down, stay a while, and listen. If someone you love only had one Wednesday left, would you spend it with them, or assume there would always be another?